What it do, Dream Team? It's your favorite duo, Darian and
Mackenzie.
Back with another reaction video, guys. And here we are with America compared why other countries treat their people so much better. I've seen this video, but Mackenzie hasn't yet, and I'm intrigued to see her take on it. And it's been a while since I've seen this, so it's gonna be fresh to me. Before we jump in, make sure you subscribe, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. What we got?
This episode and others like it are made possible by the generous support of my patrons on Patreon. If you'd like to help me make more content like this, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/secondthought. I'm going to say something that will probably offend many of my viewers. Let me preface this by saying that I, as an American, include myself in the following statement. Americans are quite possibly the most willfully ignorant people on the face of the planet. We have access to the sum total of all human knowledge, yet our understanding of the world rarely extends beyond our own country. And even then, the majority of Americans believe in a vision of the country that does not actually exist. It's not that we're stupid, we just tend to blindly accept that the US is the greatest place on Earth, and therefore don't see any reason to educate ourselves about the realities of the rest of the world. In this episode, we're going to pull back...
That is facts, bro. Like, growing up, I feel like I was just told that so much that...
Yeah.
That's just what I believe. Like, all right, we the greatest country in the world.
Say less.
I swear to God.
On how America actually compares to other countries, and consider why the richest country on Earth fails to treat its people with dignity and fairness. I'm going to provide a list of important topics, then for each item we'll compare the American experience with that of citizens from other nations. Hopefully by providing a side-by-side comparison, you'll be able to see the stark contrast between how most Americans see their country and how it really stacks up against the competition. To give you an idea of just how skewed the American perception of our country really is, let's start with a pretty shocking example. Compensation for what are considered low-skilled jobs. We'll take the quintessential American company, McDonald's. McDonald's is the world's largest restaurant chain by revenue. It operates in over 100 countries and serves over 69 million customers every day. As of 2018, McDonald's was the second largest private employer, with 1.7 million employees, behind Walmart's 2.3 million. How many times have you heard someone refer to McDonald's jobs or workers in a derogatory manner? For some reason, people who work at McDonald's are seen as inferior or lazy or have any number of other unfair and unkind assessments leveled at them. This probably stems from the old notion
that was like an insult growing up in school.
That and to work at Walmart.
Yes. Like, if your parents worked at McDonald's, I feel like you got clowned about it. Or if, like, you was dumb, then people be like, you just go, when you grow up, you're going to be flipping burgers at McDonald's. Like, And I was like, dang. So that's fact. It has been a derogatory term.
Flipping burgers being a job anyone can perform. But the animosity towards low-wage workers has grown significantly in the past few decades. And in America, McDonald's workers really do suffer a low wage. As of 2020, the average crew member at McDonald's makes $9 per hour. The average McDonald's cashier makes $8 per hour. The federal minimum wage in the United States is $7.25, a rate which has not been raised in over a decade, and which should not be considered a reasonable wage for any position, considering the fact that a full-time minimum wage worker cannot afford to rent a 2-bedroom apartment anywhere in the United States. And
can you believe it's still $7.25, like, that it hasn't risen?
I feel like that's crazy.
Like, I know a lot of companies are going to pay their workers. Like, you're not very competitive if you're starting out at $7.25 now. So, like, you got to raise it. But
McDonald's is $15 an hour.
Yeah. So, it's risen now. But, like, the fact that the law that states that you only have to pay $7.25
is, like, literally crazy.
I swear to God.
You can't even buy a Coke on that kind of budget.
And I went years working at a couple places where I made in the $7, maybe $7.40 or $7.50. And
see, I feel like that's where our age gap shows. It's because I've never, ever.
Yes. No, it was tough. I thought making $9 an hour, I was getting a step up, but now, for the jobs I was doing, they starting out at, like you say, like $15 or $12 or something. Like,
yeah, I think I started my first job in like 2017.
Yeah.
And 2016, 2017, I started out at 14.
See, yeah, that's crazy. What was it?
Walmart.
Well, 14. You know what I started out at Walmart? $9.25. 925 to 14 is crazy, bro.
Age gap.
Afford a one-bedroom apartment in over 95% of US counties. Now, the all too common response to data like this is something like, well, yeah, it's not a hard job. You should just find a better one. Here's a simple question. Should any job, regardless of technical skill required, pay workers so little that they cannot afford to rent even the smallest place to live? Not to mention other necessities like utilities, food, and medicine. Absolutely not. That is inhumane and cruel, especially coming from the second largest employer in the richest country on the planet. Other notable objections include, McDonald's has to make a profit. If they pay their workers more, they might go out of business. First of all, if you can't pay your workers a fair wage, your company should not be in business. End of story. But again, McDonald's is not struggling to make ends meet. In 2019, McDonald's raked in $21 billion in revenue. But no matter how obvious the exploitation of low-wage workers, Americans are hell-bent on praising the very companies doing the exploiting. Take this article on Reader's Digest, for example. It's titled, "This is what McDonald's workers really get paid." You see that and think, oh, nice. Finally some news showing how poorly these workers are compensated. Then you scroll down and nope, they're actually praising McDonald's, saying things like, the food chain is also great for paying their workers fairly, and McDonald's is one of the highest paying fast food chains in the United States. This level of sycophancy is insane. If $8 or $9 an hour is some of the highest pay in the industry, that doesn't indicate that McDonald's is paying fairly. It indicates that a massive chunk of the population is being paid poverty wages.
Yes.
This is where taking an international perspective is so critical. If all you see is feel-good stories about how well McDonald's workers are paid, you'll never know how badly American workers are actually being treated. Let's take the same company, the same position, but in a different country. Here's a McDonald's in Denmark. The average McDonald's worker in Denmark, for doing the same low-skill job, makes $22 per hour. Well, hold on, you hear Reader's Digest scream from across the Atlantic. McDonald's workers in America get paid vacation days after just a year of work. Wow, enticing. In Denmark, when you're hired at McDonald's, not only are you making nearly 3 times what you would make in an American Mickey D's, you also instantly have access to a full year of paid family leave and a pension. No slaving away for a year to prove your value to the company. You're hired and you're treated fairly. Simple as that. McDonald's can afford to compensate all their workers like this, but they won't, because US laws allow them to exploit American workers to the point where they're basically slaves, earning the bare minimum to survive, paying all of their income and often going into debt just to pay rent, and having no way to escape this vicious cycle because they're working such long hours.
Bro, this $22 an hour, bro. Start out at McDonald's. It'd be a line around the corner for McDonald's to work at McDonald's.
That's crazy.
It did. They said instantly you got a year paid family leave.
Yeah, see, I don't think we get that over here.
No,
but I feel like most restaurants or most fast foods over here starts out at around 15.
Yeah, nowadays when this video was
anywhere
made,
from 13 to 15.
Yeah. Shoot, well, yeah. In my days, I'm only 28, but we take it back to 2013, 2014. They wasn't paying nothing but $7, $8. I $7.25, $8.50 an hour. You feel me? Now times have changed, but that's all we was getting paid back then. Prices were a lot cheaper with certain, like rent and stuff was a lot cheaper back.
Yes,
also.
It was. I just be thinking about like how much better we could have had it.
Yeah, I was with roommates. We had a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath for about the same price as this, and it had an upstairs, downstairs. And then we also had a 2-bedroom, 1 bath for like $675 a month.
See, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, this shit ain't nowhere close to that. You can't find that no more.
No more. You can't find anything less than 1,000 around here.
She ain't lying. And that's for goddamn 1-bedroom. You feel like.
I mean, you paid that for just a 1-bedroom.
Exactly. Yeah, I paid like $1,200 for 1-bedroom. That's
crazy.
Insanity.
This is the case across all of America's low-wage jobs, of which there are many. The plight of the low-wage worker is incredibly dire, and all you have to do to understand that is look at how those same workers are treated in other wealthy countries. Let's move on to another topic. Work-life balance. Fair wages are definitely part of this equation. If you're paid fairly, you don't need to work a second job, which will free up your time to be spent elsewhere. But we're going to focus on other metrics, specifically the length of the work week, vacation time, and parental leave. Let's start with the US. Most Americans would say that 40 hours per week is full-time. That seems to be the general consensus. But, in keeping with the country's exploitative labor practices, the hilariously named Fair Labor Standards Act does not actually define what qualifies as full-time. That's left up to the employer. Okay, why does this matter? Well, think of your past part-time jobs. Did you get any benefits? Healthcare, 401k? Probably not. Most benefits, when they're offered at all, are reserved for full-time employees. Companies don't want to provide benefits because they affect their bottom line. America is all about cutting costs and providing workers.
And in order to not get them benefits, they work you like 38 hours a week. Be like, you're not working 40, you're not full-time, you're part-time, but we're going to work you 38 hours a week.
Yeah, because they dirty.
Exactly, because they don't want to pay them benefits. And it's like, if you hire a bunch of people to work 38 hours a week, you ain't got to give full-time benefits to nobody.
Nah, because that's where they dirty.
I swear.
Workers with fair compensation is a cost. So, imagine you apply for a full-time job at Best Buy. You're offered the job, but they tell you they only have part-time positions, but they can give you almost full-time. They make it sound like they're doing you a favor, offering you more hours than normal part-time. But this is just another example of employers exploiting their workers. If you work 37 hours per week, you're essentially a full-time employee, but they don't have to provide you any sort of benefits. No healthcare, no vacation, nothing. This is a common practice. Companies will hire people, but keep them just below the threshold for full-time to avoid providing fair compensation. I've seen it happen. I used to work at Best Buy and they would do it all the time. And that's just the companies who are still trying to appear generous. Others will simply not offer benefits at all, or set their full-time positions at 50 or 60 hours per week. Sales positions are notorious for this. They'll often say, well, we expect you to work 40 hours, but all the top sellers are working 60 to 70 hours per week. This is coercion. They're trying to pressure you into working more hours to benefit them, and the compensation is never what they claim it will be. By allowing employers to define full-time work, American workers are held captive by corporations, forced to either work absurd hours to qualify for full-time benefits or find a second job to help cover the cost of things like health insurance. Both of these options lead to a terrible work-life balance, and as real wages have decreased and benefits have been offered less and less over the years, huge numbers of American workers have developed an unhealthy work-life balance. For example, in 1960, when workers had real bargaining power, only 20% of American women worked. Today, 70% of children live in households where both parents are working full-time. Where does all this lead? As of 2020, over 85% of American men and 66% of women work more than 40 hours per week. We work 137 more hours per year than Japanese workers, 260 more than the British, and 499 more hours per year than the French. Why do other countries have such a better balance? Because many of them have laws that cap the length.
That's like $4.99. That's like over 10 weeks worth.
We just gotta move. Like, we just in the wrong place.
We in the wrong country.
We in the wrong place.
They lied to us our whole life. They told us this. We was lucky to be here.
Yeah.
They told us this is the greatest country on earth. The freedom. You got the chance, an American dream. You could become a millionaire. They told us all that. And that was so they could slave us. That was so they could use us. So they could profit off of us.
Yeah, I think it's time for us to move.
We out of here. Where we going?
Does anybody want to claim us?
The full-time work week. Companies are required to pay their workers fairly and allow enough time off for employees to maintain a healthy work-life balance. That's not the case in the US. Vacation time is a similar story. Whereas many other countries mandate that employers provide paid vacation and sick days, the US does not. In every industrialized nation, workers get more paid vacation days and holidays than in the US. Here's a depressing graph to illustrate just how poorly we treat our workers. France 31, Spain 34, Austria 38, America 0. 0 paid vacation days, 0 paid holidays. And remember, these are the mandated figures. Every Austrian worker gets a minimum of 38 paid days off per year. Even in the worst possible employment situation, they'd still get 38 paid days off. In the US, many workers are lucky to get Christmas or Thanksgiving off at all. And the odds that it's a paid holiday? next to zero. Let's move on to our final comparison, paid parental leave. Many Americans aren't even aware this is a thing, so let me explain. When an employee of a company has a child, sometimes they're offered parental leave, a period of time where they can stay home from work to bond with and take care of their new baby. This greatly benefits the employee, the child, and, in the long run, the company, because the employee will be happier, less stressed, and more loyal to the company. Of course, offering paid parental leave doesn't benefit corporations in the short term. And if there's one thing that encapsulates the American business philosophy, it's short-term gains over all else. So it won't surprise you to learn that the US is the only industrialized nation on the planet that does not mandate some amount of paid parental leave.
That's crazy.
This may be shocking to my American viewers because being able to get paid to spend time with your newborn child sounds like an impossible dream in our dystopian labor market. And honestly, it probably is impossible in our current America. We're so invested in self-destructive capitalism that even suggesting the possibility of paid parental leave would put US politicians out of a job. That's not the case in the rest of the industrialized world. In fact, every other OECD nation, and even in many third world countries, new parents are guaranteed at least several weeks of leave. Let's take a look at a few of them. Ethiopia, a country with an annual gross national income of under $900 per person, offers 90 days of leave with 100% pay. Madagascar, 14 weeks at 100%. Afghanistan, 90 days. Denmark, 52 weeks. Norway, 56 weeks. France, 16 weeks at 100% pay for your first child, up to 26 weeks for your third, on top of 104 unpaid weeks. Lithuania, 52 weeks at 100%, plus an additional 52 weeks at 80%. Again, the United States...
We lucky if we get 6 weeks.
2 years. In only one of those years, they say we gonna give you 80% pay.
That's what I'm saying. You lucky if you get 6 weeks after you have a baby over here.
I swear to God.
You lucky. It depends on what company you work for if you get 6 weeks.
You lucky if they not calling you while you giving labor.
I say you get 6 weeks, but you may not get paid for 6 weeks. You
there
may not
you go.
Get paid at all.
There you go. Exactly.
You just get the 6 weeks without pay.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
And for the men, forget it. Forget you going to your baby born today. You going to work tomorrow. Forget you don't get no time,
bro. I mean, the job that I just quit. I worked there for a year and only had enough paid time off for 1 day.
That's insane.
1 day. Bro. I never missed any day, so I could have that 1 day.
That's legit insanity, bro. Like, yeah, US, we tripping, bro. But I'm not surprised, like, because we're one of the richest countries, like. Yeah, because they freaking profit off of each one of us. Like, we slaves to the U.S. You feel me? And they charge us for everything and give us nothing. Dang, that's tough.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Amazon does paid paternal and maternal leave. Yeah. For a whole year.
Really?
For a whole year.
Both?
Yep.
See, yeah, some companies will look out for you here. But most companies, like, F that, we ain't doing all that. But some will be great and look out for you. That's really nice.
It does not mandate a single day of paid parental leave, even for the mother. And the father is never considered. This means that workers in America have to choose to either pay the exorbitant cost of childcare or have one parent quit their job in order to take care of the child. These are both bad options, which often lead to economic precarity. But that doesn't matter to the companies employing American workers. Profit is the only thing that matters. Hopefully seeing these labor practices compared like this has made it clear that not only is the US not living up to its claim to being the greatest nation on earth, but also that it consistently ranks poorly and often dead last in terms of labor metrics. Why is it that the wealthiest, most powerful nation on earth can't pay their workers a fair wage, or provide healthcare, vacation time, or paid parental leave? You should realize by now that it's not that they can't, it's that they won't. Everything in America is beholden to the almighty dollar. Profit is the only motivator. If an action does not produce a greater profit, it will not be considered. Over the last few decades, Americans have watched as our livelihoods, our quality of life, and our dignity have all been stripped away by those who already make obscene amounts of money. Those in power say we're all in this together, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The ultra-wealthy and the world's largest corporations rely on Americans remaining ignorant. They rely on us accepting the lie that America is the greatest nation on earth, that it couldn't possibly get any better. All you have to do to shatter that lie is to take a look around the world. Other nations take care of their citizens. Even impoverished nations, or nations that we've bombed into oblivion, take better care of their people than the US does. American workers need to relearn the language of class struggle and work together to break the wheel of the capitalist machine. If we want to claim that the United States is the greatest place on earth, we need to make it that way.
Dang, that was all
I
facts,
mentioned at the
bro.
beginning of this video that this kind of content is supported.
That was all facts.
That's terrible.
It's awful here, bro. You watched the new Karate Kid with Jaden Smith?
Yes.
When he was crying, I hate it here. I said, why did you make us move?
Bro, my
here?
hair got stuck.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and end the video on that note. Make sure y'all subscribe, ring notification bell, and the video a thumbs up. We out.